Hello and welcome to the Knights in the Nightmare Let's Play. This is, we're going to go ahead and call it video 19. There's actually more videos than that, but this is the 19th in what I guess I'd call the main series, the one that features gameplay. So excluding all of the bonus ones or the plot recaps, those videos, we're going to call this the 19th video. And we'll be covering scene 15, so like I said, we're back to gameplay. So we'll do the usual hijinks. We'll be checking for key items in the objects in the field. We'll be recruiting whatever knights we can, and then of course we'll be getting kills on the monster matrix. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, here we are. We'll get the lay of the land here, as we always do. Seems like there's some players on the field that we can either recruit or give their key items to. That was Meryl, a priestess. Here's Johanna, a duelist. Locke, some random NPC, and Magano, I guess, another NPC. So all of those guys had yellow banners telling us that yes, we have the key items necessary to either recruit them or else trade for a weapon. Here I'm loading up Meryl, the priestess's key item, and I throw on a rod for her to use too. I don't plan to use her very much, but I figured, well, alright, she's going to be in for this round, I might as well give her something to work with. I pulled out Johanna, the duelist, and put in Alonso. He's a lance knight, and it's going to be his job to get in position so we can beat on those objects in the lower corner. The treasure box and that patch of grass, both of those contain a key item. And I have an extra spot on my inventory, so I go ahead and throw on one of the key items for the NPC. And it looks good.
Engage! I won't go easy on you.
The Grand Marshal she's talking about is Gunther. So it sounds like Gunther's a bit of a hot topic, huh? Alright, the flower bouquet is given to Meryl, the priestess, and that more or less awakens her soul. She'll join us now. And Magano gets her lavish blouse, so she'll give me a weapon now. There we go. Alright, I'm getting Alonso into position so we can beat on the treasure box and that patch of grass. Alright. Beating on that treasure box has some risks associated with it. First and foremost, it's considered a container, so it's possible for me to destroy it without opening it, and then it'll refuse to open. At that point, the only choice I have is to get a warrior to completely obliterate it, remove it from the field, and wait for it to respawn. The other risk is that it could be a mimic and hop to and become alive after I beat on it enough. If that happens, it'll dance around on the field a little bit and then try to escape. So you really have to hustle to kill it, otherwise it's going to escape with your key item. Fortunately, it just opened up like it's supposed to and we got the key item out of it, so all's well that ends well, huh? Go ahead and give the rod to Meryl and have her land a few blows. There's also some catapults on the field, and those are both objects and they're also throwing shit at me, so they're attacking me as well. But they do contain key items, so I need to get around to destroying those as well. Alright, that ghost bites the dust. Good riddance. And time's expired, so it's the end of the round. So, got a D grade, that's not that big of a deal. We got 2 of the key items and we got a kill, so progress. Okay, monster slots. At this time I don't care too much what we get, so I just go ahead and press the button. Alright, let's size up the situation here. We've got 2 of the key items, like I said. There's 2 more on the field now, for sure. I pull out Meryl and put in Dreas. That's actually a really good spot for him as an archer. I go ahead and give him a flare shooter, a fire bow. If you notice, there's a blue witch to the left of him in the upper left corner of the screen. She's pretty much dead to rights now. He's going to have her number easily. She's got nowhere to escape. I go ahead and pull out Alonso and throw in Johan, our warrior. Johan's job, of course, is going to be to destroy the treasure box and the patch of grass and remove them from the field so they can respawn and hopefully bring another key item with them. Since Alonso's no longer on the field, I go ahead and remove his lance since there's no one around to use it. Maria can use any weapon, but that means she can also use the bow or else the axe that's in the inventory. I almost started the game there, but then I remember, wait, I have spawn on my inventory. Let's throw on another key item for the other NPC. And I haven't used Maria yet, you might have noticed. I'm trying to keep her just in the waiting for now. She'll have her use, but I don't want to overuse her. She only has 7.77 vitality. Alright, and there's Dreas. He's going to get a quick kill on that witch, that 200%. Like I said, there's no escape for her. So she's an ice elemental, so he uses his fire bow. It's easy damage. Now, despite that, she did survive that first blow at 200% damage, so she's pretty tough, I guess. Of course, the enemy's toughness is contingent on their level, as well as, of course, the level of the knight I'm using and the level of the weapon they're using. Alright, Johan's going to bust the treasure box and the patch of grass. They destroy into mediums, and then they're removed from the field. So now it's just a matter of waiting for them to respawn and see if they bring more key items with them. Having those 2 things done, those 2 things destroyed, now it's just a matter of getting some kills for the rest of the round. Went ahead and put Johan on hold there because I wasn't confident that I'd be able to dodge all this shit. I did do a very good job choosing a weapon for him. He doesn't really have a lot of options as far as who to hit. There's Dreas attacking with his fire bow. Remember, archers have a quirk where once they release their attack, then that enemy's locked down, so it's not going to be able to escape from his AoE. I'm telling you guys, archers are just crazy. Alright, I take a little damage, and that ends the round. Alright, for whatever reason, the game thought I did really good there. I don't know why. More monster slots, and again, I don't care too much what we get. That blue monster is going to be another easy kill for Dreas. Alright, Johan's done his job, so I pull him out and put Johanna, the duelist from the stage, I put her back in. And then while she's on the field, it's a good time to recruit her, so I throw on her key item, these butter cookies. It's going to be her job to hop into position so that Johan can go back in and land blows on those catapults and destroy them. So I went ahead and threw on an ice rapier for the duelist, Johanna.
Engage! It's showtime!
Okay, remember that name, Diora. Apparently they're pals. Okay, Joanna is awoken. She'll join us. Dreas going for his quick, easy kill.
Set my enemy ablaze. It worked.
Once again, the witch survives.
Set my enemy ablaze.
There we go. And he also managed to destroy the catapult that one to the left. So we grabbed the key item out of it. Now before I move Johanna, she has some good shots on some fire elemental enemies, and seeing as she has an ice weapon, it'd be a good opportunity to take advantage of. So yeah, she went ahead and killed that tree monster, the Dryad, and now I'm hopping her into position. Of course, it has to be in chaos phase in order for her to move. And there she goes. So the only thing left that currently has a key item on the field is that last catapult. Alright, went in, jammed that witch. She tried to lay a trap, but fortunately I was able to jam her in time. Oh, that witch is on borrowed time. She's barely alive.
Set my enemy ablaze.
The other enemy on the field is that knight, and I have a real problem with those guys. You actually have to wait for them to begin an attack in order to land a blow on them, otherwise they'll guard from you. And I fall for it every time. I just cannot pull it off. I take just the worst chances and I always pay for it. There's no reason for me to think that blow would land, but I tried it anyway. Alright, that worked. At this point I'm collecting gems, so I'm not actually equipping any weapons, and I decide, alright, that's all the damage I can do for this round. I go ahead and end early. Okay, we got another key item, that angel statue. So far we're doing pretty good. And we're getting some pretty reliable kills too, so progress on both fronts. Again, I'm not too particular on which enemies I get. Joanna's done her job. I'm going to pull her out and put in Johann now so he can actually destroy those catapults completely and remove them from the field. And I'm trying to decide what affinity of weapon I want to use. I go a little out of character here. I kind of splurge a little. In most cases I try to keep one weapon per knight, but I go ahead and give Johann 2 axes because he's got 2 different enemies of opposite elemental affinities to deal with. The game likes to do that. It likes to put a fire enemy next to an ice enemy, so you can't have one weapon that'll cover both of them. And I splurge a little more. I even throw on that duelist ice weapon for Maria to use. Okay, we start again with the easy kill from the blue enemy in the corner. That position of that enemy is kind of devious. If it weren't for Dreas, it'd be a real son of a bitch to get to that enemy, so I don't really feel sorry for it. The height disparity between where your attack lands and where that witch was makes it really difficult to actually land a blow. Alright, Johann's destroying that catapult completely. All the pieces are gone, it's out of the field. And he's going to work on the one above it now. Okay, progress. He went and broke a Dryad fence on that move, which I didn't even realize, but it's one of the, for lack of better terms, it's one of the teleportation pads that they have. So that you removed basically a square that the Dryad could appear on. Alright, the catapult is destroyed. We grabbed the key item. Now it's just a matter of completely destroying it. Spider's going to do a special move, and I fail to jam him, so I have to contend with that web in the upper corner, 25% of the screen, I guess. Alright, Maria's in position now so that when the treasure box and the patch of grass come back, she can beat on those and get any key items they might have. And she's getting some free hits for some gems now. And since she has 2 fire enemies right there, she might as well go for it with the ice weapon. Alright, got one of them. The tree actually left. There I accidentally activated a rush count. I didn't mean to. At the top of the screen, enemy attack lines hidden. What that means is, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the progress of the enemies as far as how close they are to performing an attack. I'll point it out next round when it comes back, but now it's hidden from me. And that's a negative rush count effect. Here I go ahead and kill the tree monster. What I really should have done was destroy that catapult first before I ended the round, but I failed to do that. Oopsie doopsie. Alright, got some medicine as a key item. Now if you notice with the gray monsters in the monster slots, there's one that's flashing. That means he's the final monster. If I kill him, I'll end the round, and that's because upon his death, that'll satisfy the matrix and make a complete line of kills. Well, I'm not ready for that to happen yet. I want to get more key items, so I purposely don't pick that final monster. Aside from that, I think we have a pretty good setup, so I stick with it. Alright, we start as usual with the cheap easy kill, and I don't feel bad about it.
Set my enemy ablaze. It worked. Break out. Set my enemy ablaze. Item button.
I got a little crowded there. Okay, I think I finally destroy the catapult here. Alright, it's out of there. Okay, now we're just waiting for the objects to respawn, and any incidental kills we can get along the way, that's fine, but we don't want to end the game yet. And that witch is just out of reach, so I put Johann on hold while I deal with dodging all this stuff. It's a good move to put him on hold if you're not confident. You can then hide with him on hold and it won't cancel the charge, so you won't lose the time invested charging him if you have to hide. Here, Dreas is hitting that whatever that thing is, Lamia, in Law Phase, which stuns it. And so it can't move, and it also receives full damage, so Johann gets a really quick, easy 200% damage on it. So a good combo there where they just kick the shit out of it. I'm telling you guys, the archers are just nuts. Waiting for this asshole to do a move, otherwise he's gonna block me. Come on, buddy. There we go. And down goes the knight. Alright, S rank, I guess. Whatever. And if you look to the left, the treasure box has come back. It's respawned. I still need to avoid getting the final monsters because I don't want to end the turn. And like an idiot, I click on it anyway. So that orc that's on the field, I can't let him die, the gray guy. If he dies, it'll end the round. But I'm still waiting for the other things to respawn and hopefully bring key items. So here I'm checking, making sure Maria, if she attacks, she won't hit that white guy, right? And no, she doesn't. So she can safely attack that treasure box. He will get some splash damage, but it's going to be negligible.
Engage.
Alright, we begin, as we always do, with cheap kills for Dreas. Now, that gray guy takes some damage from this, but I knew he would survive, so I didn't worry too much about it. However, it did kill him. It took about half his health, so I decided, alright, no more of that. I'm just going to have to ignore that blue guy. He's going to have free reign. He's going to take cheap shots at me the whole stage, but I can't afford to kill that white guy, the orc. Alright, treasure box opened up. We grabbed the key item. If you see that rod there, the orc just fucking stole it. There it goes into his pot. Look how proud he is. And he knows I can't do anything about it. I can't kill him to get it because then I'll end the stage. So that son of a bitch. Fortunately, it was just a weapon. It wasn't a key item, so I can live with that. There I fall for the oldest trick in the book. I attack when I shouldn't have, and the knight blocks it easily. And I fall for it again. There I thought he was going to attack, so I'm like, alright. Here he went for his animation. And no, he blocks me. So now, landing a meaningless blow, a normal attack, and I land it. Of course, he doesn't block that. So I'm making no progress. I'm just embarrassing myself. Enemy attack lines are hidden again. I accidentally did that rush account effect. I forgot to point out those enemy lines. I'll do it next round. But they're gone again. They should be on the left-hand side of the screen. There, I finally land a blow, but I used the wrong axe, so I only did 25% damage. So at this point I decide I've embarrassed myself enough, and I just end the round. Okay, and yet again the game seems to think I did a good job. Whatever. More flashing monsters. There's now a red flashing monster, so he's another final one. As far as the white monsters go, all of them are final monsters now. Upon killing any of them, I'll end the turn. I chose the ghosts because they do have a invincible frame of animation where they have a chance to avoid any damage, so of course I'd rather that happen than kill them. Okay, with that in mind, I think it's safe to start. There's been no respawns of the objects yet, so I'm still waiting. Now, in this stage, oh, by the way, if you look to the left, you see those lines with the monsters crawling up them. That's the indication when the monsters are going to attack once they reach the top. In most cases, I actually just ignore it, but upon activating that rush count effect, those were hidden from me. At any rate, I make a tactical error in this stage, and I'll explain what happens. There, I just pissed off the fairy because I wanted to kill it. However, I just killed that other monster, and upon doing that, it caused the fairy to get promoted to a final monster. So now the round ends. I'm like, shit, I didn't mean for that to happen. Now, fortunately, I happen to know for a fact that there were no more key items coming. I wanted to demonstrate during the Let's Play, but I screwed it up. So, in the end, it worked out. So, not to worry, we did get all key items from that stage. Alright, welcome aboard, Meryl. And Joanna, another duelist. And with that, we are brought to the inventory screen where we can fill around with our weapons or level up our guys, all that sort of stuff. Before we get to that, though, Jesus Christ, that flashback. What a brutal fucking flashback. Who's with me? Oh my god, that was a tough one to watch. Of course, we saw Meryl and Johanna's last moments. Johanna mentions Diora. Wait for me, I'll see you there. Diora being a close friend of hers. She also mentioned that during her pause talks, too, if you remember that name. Well, funny you should mention Diora, because after the cutscene and I went to the inventory management, I went ahead and I actually transsold Diora to Johan. The reason being, if you see in the bottom corner here, his vitality is only 8.65. That's pretty low. I was getting nervous about that. And if you look at the thought balloons above Johan's head, the vitality has 2 big up arrows. So I know that'd be a big bonus for her to transfer into him. So, yep, I went ahead and did it. And so, Diora, for her credit, she willingly gave up and said, yep, use my soul. And then afterwards, Johan's vitality rose by 13, which is quite substantial. So that was a good transsoul, quote-unquote good. On the other hand, Johanna shouldn't be worrying about Diora waiting for you too much, because she ain't there. After that, I went ahead and leveled up our other permanent knights. So as you can see here on the screen, their names are in red, meaning that they can't level up anymore until they are transsouled another knight. They've reached their max right now. Malonzo's max is level 18. That's kind of low, so I'm going to have to look for someone else to feed him, unfortunately. After that, I went ahead and just kind of tidied up our inventory. I don't know if you noticed, but there's just a lot of duplicate weapons, just shit everywhere. It was a big job. I think I've been neglecting it for quite a while. It was literally about 10 minutes of just filling around, combining stuff, combining stacks, upgrading weapons, that sort of thing. Alright, that's what happened during the inventory screen. Let's keep pushing on. Alright, that brings us to the next stage. Now, if you noticed during that cutscene, that guy was revealed to be Gunther was his name. And we've actually heard that name before, haven't we? Gunther, he's come up a few times. He's the head of the Second Order of Knights. He also founded the 11th Order of Knights, which is made up of inexperienced knights, and actually consists of most of our recruits right now. Most of the knights we have in our army are from the 11th Order. At any rate, during the stage itself, Gunther was quite the talk, wasn't he? Meryl was talking about how Grand Marshal Gunther knows of Sir Rolf's talent. Rolf is a wizard that we recruited back, oh gosh, probably, I don't know, stage 6 or so, I don't remember. But he is actually the head of the 11th Order, and presumably appointed by Gunther himself, but I don't know that for a fact. Locke, this NPC, mentions how kind Gunther is, although he's been acting strange lately. And then Magano mentions once again, yeah, he was kind. So Gunther's been painted as this really cool dude. He's a nice guy. Another thing to mention is, if you recall, immediately after we killed Ravulia, the boss on the Dussel Bridge, the roadblock that was preventing the messengers from getting through, after we killed her, then Zolganart, the shadowy creature, was kind of panicking. Maybe panicking is not the right word, but he was a little concerned. Yelma said, yeah, what's wrong? And Zolganart says, well, shit, Ravulia, she's dead, I can't believe it. Who could have killed her? Yelma responds to this by saying, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. I have a powerful servant at Fort Gerhard, and I have crafted a special type of armor for him. Ho, ho, ho. Well, Maria actually points out in this conversation with Gunther, his wicked pulse, the armor is emanating it. So it looks like we found Yelma's special servant, huh? Maria goes on to say the only way to save him is to kill him. So it looks like we're about to do a mercy killing. That's right, next stage is a boss battle. And let me tell you guys, this one is a motherfucker. So I hope you look forward to it. I certainly do. Yep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.